I thought I'd finish with the Harman Kardon speakers, but I've had a couple of queries about sourcing these little speaker inserts. This is the old one that came out of one of the speakers. Don't know where the other three are, all in the rubbish bin somewhere. But I'm going to run through what you should be looking for to source these items, and so that they're a direct replacement for what you've already got. What we're going to look at is we're going to look at the inductance, we're going to look at the impedance, and we're going to look at the physical size of the speaker, and also how the surround matters when it comes to being a direct replacement in your side speakers. There's a lot of these speakers in the marketplace, and sometimes it's not that obvious whether they'll fit or not. The first thing we're looking for is to have these little lugs that are on the side of the speaker. These little lugs here and there. You may not be able to see them all that well, but there are speakers that are very similar to this without no lugs. The purpose of these is that they clip into the speaker housing and act to hold the speaker in place. So that's the first thing we've got to look for. The second thing is we need 8 ohm speakers. Now 8 ohms is the impedance of the speaker, but we are now going to measure the resistance of the speaker just by putting a resistance meter across the contacts. Sadly, I'm not a modern person and don't have any of these new fangled meters that you guys all seem to have. However, I do have my trusty old Avo, which I much prefer. However, my leads went crook on me, and so I've had to use a couple of bits of wire to do this job. Get it through to the ohms, set it on its lowest range, short it out to let's just get it on 0, and now put it across the wires across the meter, across the terminals of the speaker, and I'm getting about 5.7, 5.5, 5.7 ohms. Let's see. Yeah, 5.7 ohms, roughly speaking. Now, that tells me that this is an 8 ohm speaker, and I'll tell you why later. The 8 ohms that you get is the basic impedance of the device, and not its coil resistance. I'm going to measure the impedance of the coil, and to do so I need to just take the speaker magnet away from the coil, and fortunately I was able to prise it all free earlier and put that over to one side. Now it's a very strong magnet, so don't put it near anything that you're going to any magnetic media you don't want erased or anything. Keep it well out of the way. There's the coil. Now how am I going to measure the impedance of that coil? And there's several other questions you've got to ask yourself when it comes to measuring impedance, like at what frequency you're going to do it. One would expect to use a frequency somewhere within the audio range. However, the meter that I use, I have no idea what the frequency it uses to measure inductance. So, but we'll go and get it and put it on and see what we get. Hello, I'm back again. This is one of those little component testers with a little display. They're quite relatively inexpensive. as testers go, and I've found it quite handy to use for different things, different jobs. Now we're going to measure this coil impedance and the inductance too. So, oh yeah, clip our little leads on. Let's see. Oh, and my eyesight is going. Oh yeah. Right, there we go. Clips on. Press that on and see what we get. Let's focus in on that. .13 milliamperes and 7.58 ohms it says. Now that impedance value will vary according to what frequency it's used, so the higher the frequency, I believe you will get higher impedance. It's 2 pi times the frequency times the inductance gives you the impedance. Back in the old days it was more common to have it on the back of the speaker, and but we thought, well, let's see, pull it off and see whether there's actually anything written on the back of this thing. Oh, what a mess. They do have a habit of sometimes scraping off the component values so that you can't see what you're getting. Make it more difficult for us. Maybe just the glue might just take it off, but when I did this with one of the others, I did detect 8 ohms, but I can't see. Without cleaning it a bit more, I can't really see whether there's any old bits of writing on there. But we are looking for 8 ohm speakers. Now we come to deciding the size of these devices and how that's specified. As far as I can tell, it's based on the diameter of this. I'll go and get a pair of calipers to show you what I mean. Back again. Next door's dog has started to bark because it wanted to say hello to me when I went to go and get my calipers. It's only a puppy, but it's a lovely dog. I just had to pause then. The dog has actually shut up, thankfully. Now, measuring this, I get 2 point. Oh, hang on, let's see where we get it from. Yeah, 2.6 3 according to these millimeters. It's 26.3 millimeters, and really, to be honest, it's as oh god, that is strong. It's as close as possible to, well, call it an inch. And why would we call it an inch? It's that Harman Kardon Speakers were originally a USA company. And in the US of A, they still deal with feet, inches, pounds, miles, etc. And whilst some of us now have to deal with the metric system. Now, I personally don't mind what I work in, but bearing in mind it's Harman Kardon speakers, so we're going to be looking for inch speakers. 1-inch diameter speakers. Okay. Well, there we go. Back where it was. That's it. Now I'm going to find a replacement on the internet. Now we're on eBay. I'm going to use some of the parameters that we've established for the speaker and type them in as my search criteria. First of all, I'm going to put in the diameter, which is 1 inch. Now I'm going to put in the impedance, 8 ohms, and I want it to be a full range loudspeaker in that it covers the mid and the higher frequencies. That's what we're looking for. Full range. Speaker. I think that's all. Let's give it a go. And straight away, right at the top of my search, I've got this one. And how do I know we're onto a winner? Is because it looks very similar to what we've got. It's described reasonably well, and it's got these little lugs on it. Now, if it didn't have these little lugs on it, I wouldn't be interested in this one. So let's go down the list and see if there's any more, and just keep going down until we find something suitable. Here we go again. These look okay, and they have actually described them as for Harman and JBL, so this is a good indication we're on the right track. Again, we've got these little lugs on the side of it. There are versions around that are sort of oh, hang on, let's bring that bigger. These little lugs, now they will clip straight into your side speakers, I think. They did when I ordered them. These weren't the ones I ordered because it's quite some time ago I did that. Now, you do get versions that haven't got these little clips on the side, and don't buy them. You'll only spend time messing around trying to fit them in, gluing them perhaps or something like that. Now, be aware that you do need 8 ohm speakers, and there's more 4 ohm speaker varieties on the listings if you look carefully. Let me go back and see if there's any more. Again, here we go. So 8 ohms again. Let's come down here and see what else is on offer. They normally put a list of other speakers. Now you might be tempted to get, see there are 4 ohm varieties there, so you don't want them, you want the 8 ohms if you can get them. At the time I fitted mine, I couldn't get 8 ohm speakers, so I had to settle for 4 ohms. But that was a couple of years ago now. Now, one thing, guys, all of these that are on our offer come from China. Now, let's look at them. This one is China. I'm not going. This one comes from China. So, you're gonna probably, if you don't live in China, have to import these things. Now, I've ordered lots of things from China direct, and they've all been low value items, and I've had absolutely no problems with customs and excise duty on them, or even VAT. However, I've bought more expensive items and which have incurred import duties, and I was aware of that before I ever bought them. So that's all I've got to say on the subject, and I hope that gives some of you an encouragement to order these things direct. If you're one of those people that are saying, "Oh, Harman Kardon speakers, they're quality USA made," or anything like that, well, they were a USA company when they first started out, and you will now find that if you look carefully, that your little speakers are all made in China. So you're only going back to the source from where they came, and I couldn't find any stockists of these speakers in my country, so good luck, guys. I hope that I hope my experience helps you out a little bit.